Ryan had always been the kind of student nobody noticed. At 18 years old, he was quiet, shy, and preferred staying in the background. Every day at Westbridge High, he walked through crowded hallways alone, avoiding attention whenever possible. Unfortunately, that made him an easy target. A group of students constantly mocked him, making jokes whenever he passed by. Ryan tried to ignore them, but the words still hurt. Among all the students at school, one person confused him the most: Jake Carter. Jake was 19, athletic, confident, and one of the most popular students in school. Everyone admired him. At first glance, he looked exactly like the kind of guy who would bully someone like Ryan. He rarely smiled, always seemed serious, and often watched Ryan from a distance. Whenever Ryan noticed him staring, Jake would quickly look away. It was strange and uncomfortable. Ryan became convinced that Jake disliked him. One afternoon after class, Ryan was gathering his books near his locker when the usual bullies approached. They blocked his path and began making fun of him. Students walking past pretended not to notice. Ryan felt trapped. Suddenly a voice cut through the hallway. "Leave him alone." The bullies turned around and froze. Jake stood there with a cold expression. He stepped between Ryan and the bullies without hesitation. Nobody argued with him. Within seconds, the bullies backed away and disappeared. Ryan stared in shock. He expected Jake to laugh at him, not defend him. "Why did you do that?" Ryan asked quietly. Jake looked away. "Because they were wrong." Then he walked off before Ryan could ask anything else. After that day, Ryan started noticing strange things. Jake always seemed nearby. In class, he sat behind Ryan. At lunch, he quietly saved a seat for him. In the library, he helped him study when he struggled with assignments. Ryan couldn't understand it. If Jake hated him, why was he always helping him? Slowly, the fear Ryan felt around Jake began to disappear. In its place grew curiosity, and before long, something else began to grow too. Ryan didn't realize it yet, but his life was about to change forever. After the incident in the hallway, Ryan couldn't stop thinking about Jake. The popular student everyone admired had protected him when nobody else would. At first, Ryan assumed it was a one-time event, but Jake continued appearing in his life. In class, Jake sat behind him and occasionally helped him when he struggled with assignments. At lunch, Ryan was surprised to find an empty seat waiting for him beside Jake. Even in the library, Jake quietly offered help whenever Ryan seemed confused. Slowly, Ryan began feeling comfortable around him. For the first time in years, school didn't feel so lonely. As the weeks passed, they spent more time together. They studied after class, shared conversations during lunch, and walked through the campus together. Ryan discovered that Jake wasn't cold at all. Behind his serious expression was someone kind, patient, and protective. Jake remembered little things about him, like his favorite snack and the subjects he enjoyed most. Every time Ryan smiled, Jake seemed happy too. Without realizing it, Ryan started looking forward to seeing him every day. One rainy afternoon, school ended later than usual. Ryan stepped outside and immediately realized he had forgotten his umbrella. Dark clouds covered the sky as heavy rain poured onto the streets. While he stood under the school entrance wondering what to do, a black umbrella suddenly appeared above his head. Ryan looked up and found Jake standing beside him. "Come on," Jake said. "I'll walk you home." Ryan's heart beat faster as they walked together through the rain. The distance between them felt smaller than ever. Over the next few days, Ryan noticed something strange. Whenever another student got too close to him, Jake seemed annoyed. Whenever Ryan talked about someone else, Jake grew unusually quiet. The more Ryan thought about it, the more confused he became. Then one evening on the school rooftop, everything changed. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and gold. Ryan finally gathered the courage to ask the question that had been bothering him for weeks. "Jake," he said softly, "why are you always helping me?" Jake stared at the sunset for a long moment before answering. "Because you're important to me." Ryan's heart skipped a beat. Before he could say anything else, Jake turned toward him with an expression Ryan had never seen before. And in that moment, Ryan realized this friendship might be becoming something much more. Ryan's heart raced as he stared at Jake. The words echoed in his mind. "You're important to me." For a moment, neither of them spoke. The warm sunset painted the rooftop in shades of orange and gold while a gentle breeze moved through the air. Ryan had never seen Jake look so nervous before. The confident, popular student who always seemed fearless suddenly looked uncertain. Jake took a deep breath and finally spoke again. "The truth is, Ryan, I've liked you for a long time." Ryan's eyes widened. "What?" Jake laughed nervously and rubbed the back of his neck. "I know this is sudden, but it's true. At first, I just wanted to protect you. Then I started looking forward to seeing you every day. Every time you smiled, my day became better. Every time someone hurt you, it made me angry. Somewhere along the way, I fell in love with you." Ryan felt tears gathering in his eyes. For so long, he had believed nobody truly cared about him. Yet the person he had misunderstood the most was standing in front of him, confessing his feelings. Jake looked away. "You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to know." For a few seconds, Ryan stood frozen. Then he smiled. A real smile. The kind he hadn't shown in a very long time. "You're an idiot, Jake." Jake blinked. "What?" Ryan laughed through his tears. "Because I've been falling for you too." For a moment, Jake simply stared at him, then relief appeared on his face. The tension between them disappeared instantly. As the sun slowly disappeared beyond the horizon, they stood together watching the sky change colors. For the first time, Ryan felt completely happy. Months passed. The bullies never bothered Ryan again. School became a place he actually enjoyed. Jake was always by his side, whether they were studying in the library, eating lunch together, or walking home after class. Everyone eventually noticed how close they had become, and neither of them cared. On the last day of school, Ryan and Jake walked side by side through the campus gates. The same school that once made Ryan feel lonely had become the place where he found someone who truly cared about him. Ryan looked at Jake and smiled. Jake smiled back. The boy Ryan once thought was a bully had become the person he trusted most. And as they walked into the future together, Ryan knew one thing for certain. Meeting Jake had changed his life forever. The end.